The cold metal corridors of the ancient space station echoed with silence, broken only by the soft hum of scanning equipment. Jun Park moved carefully, his gloved hands brushing against layers of dust that had accumulated over thousands of years. Each step sent tiny particles dancing in the dim artificial light, a silent ballet of forgotten history. Dr. Yun Kim stood behind him, her eyes fixed on the holographic scanner. The device flickered with intermittent bursts of energy, struggling to read the degraded data crystals that lined the station's central archive chamber. This wasn't just another routine archaeological expedition. Something about this place felt different. "There," Jun whispered, pointing to a barely visible fragment of a transmission crystal. The surface was scratched and worn, but something caught his eye. A pattern that didn't seem random. Years of research had taught him to recognize when something was out of place. Yun moved closer, her breath catching in her throat. The crystal was unlike anything they had discovered in previous expeditions. Most alien archaeological finds were clean, organized, preserved with scientific precision. This was messy, almost desperate, like something had been hastily recorded in the final moments of a civilization's existence. The research team had spent months preparing for this mission. Their ship, the Starlight Investigator, had traversed 3 different star systems to reach this forgotten outpost. Most of their colleagues had laughed when they proposed the expedition. A space station this old, this far from known trade routes, was considered nothing more than cosmic debris. But Jun and Yun knew better. Their scanners began to pick up faint energy signatures, not the kind of background radiation typically found in abandoned structures, but something more deliberate. Calculated, the crystal seemed to pulse with a subtle rhythm, almost like a heartbeat frozen in time. Jun carefully removed the crystal, handling it with the same precision a surgeon might use during a delicate operation. The moment his fingers touched its surface, a tiny holographic projection flickered to life. It was barely visible, just 3 letters that seemed to float in the air between them. "Run." Yun's hand moved instinctively to her communication device, but something made her pause. The message wasn't a warning. It felt like something more. A message that had waited 40,000 years to be discovered. The space station around them seemed to hold its breath. Centuries of dust and silence pressed against the walls, hiding secrets that had been waiting to be uncovered. This wasn't just another archaeological find. This was something extraordinary. "We need to analyze this immediately," Jun said, his voice breaking the silence. His hands were steady, but his eyes betrayed a mixture of excitement and something else. Fear, perhaps, or anticipation. Yun nodded, her scientific training fighting against the strange feeling that was growing in the pit of her stomach. Whatever civilization had created this message, whatever threat they had been running from, had gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure this moment would happen. The crystal continued to pulse softly, its energy signature growing stronger with each passing minute. It was as if the artifact itself was aware of their presence, waiting to reveal its secrets. Outside the station's viewing port, distant stars continued their ancient dance, silent witnesses to a story that was about to unfold. Humanity had long since disappeared, but something of their legacy remained, something that had been waiting, patient, and calculated for this exact moment. Jun looked at Yun, a silent understanding passing between them. They were about to uncover something that would change everything they knew about the universe. The 3 letters, "Run," were just the beginning. The space station hummed with potential, its walls holding the breath of a civilization long gone, but not forgotten. Not yet. Not ever. The research facility buzzed with nervous energy as Jun carefully placed the recovered crystal into the advanced scanning system. Holographic displays flickered to life, revealing fragments of data that seemed to dance between visibility and obscurity. Dr. Yun Kim watched intently, her fingers moving swiftly across multiple translation interfaces. Initial scans revealed something unexpected. The crystal wasn't just a simple data storage device. It was a complex quantum-encrypted message that seemed to shift and change with each analysis attempt. Layers of information revealed themselves slowly, like an intricate puzzle designed to be solved only by the most patient observers. "Look at this," Jun muttered, zooming into a microscopic section of the transmission. What appeared to be random noise to an untrained eye revealed a precise mathematical pattern. Hidden within the degraded data were complex algorithms that seemed to be counting something, or preparing for something. The historical records they had access to painted a fragmented picture of humanity's final days. Earth's destruction had been sudden, catastrophic. Most believed it was a random cosmic event, an asteroid, a massive solar flare, or a nuclear conflict. But this crystal suggested something entirely different. Hyun Park, the team's quantum linguistics expert, noticed something strange about the transmission's background noise. What seemed like static actually contained a sophisticated communication pattern. It was as if the message was designed to survive long after its creators had disappeared. Fragments of human history began to emerge. Images of massive orbital defense platforms, quantum computing systems that seemed generations ahead of current technology, survival protocols that extended far beyond the immediate threat to human civilization. The research team worked tirelessly, each hour bringing new revelations. The more they discovered, the more they realized this wasn't just a historical record. It was a carefully constructed message, a warning, perhaps, or something more. "This isn't random," Yun said, her voice barely above a whisper. "This is deliberate, calculated." The transmission contained multiple layers of information, star charts showing specific regions of space, quantum encryption keys that seemed to be linked to advanced defensive systems, mathematical sequences that suggested a complex tracking mechanism. June pulled up a holographic representation of the data. It looked like a three-dimensional web, with connections that seemed to extend beyond the boundaries of known space. Each connection point pulsed with a subtle energy, suggesting something was still active. "They knew," Hyun muttered, studying the intricate patterns. Somehow, they knew something was coming, and they prepared for it. The research facility felt different now. What had started as a routine archaeological expedition was transforming into something much larger. The whispers of a lost civilization were becoming a roar. Backup systems began to activate unexpectedly. Computers that had been dormant for decades suddenly hummed with life. The crystal seemed to be more than just a data storage device. It was a key to something much larger. Outside the research facility's windows, the stars seemed to watch silently. Countless light years of space held their breath, waiting for the next revelation. Yun noticed something peculiar about the transmission's timestamps. They didn't follow a linear progression. Instead, they seemed to be counting down to something. A moment, an event, a trigger. "This isn't just a message," she said, turning to her colleagues. "This is a weapon." The three researchers exchanged looks of understanding. Whatever humanity had faced, whatever threat had destroyed their civilization, they hadn't gone quietly. They had planned, they had prepared, and most importantly, they had left behind a message. 3 letters that now seemed to hold the key to everything. Ruin. The crystal continued to pulse, its quantum encrypted message slowly revealing its secrets. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, something old was awakening, something that humanity had prepared for 40,000 years ago. And it was about to begin. The research facility trembled with an unexpected energy surge. Massive holographic displays flickered, revealing complex star system mappings that seemed to pulse with an almost living rhythm. Soo Kim's hands moved across quantum interface panels, her eyes wide with growing understanding. Quantum platforms across multiple star systems began activating simultaneously. What appeared to be random debris fields suddenly transformed into intricate defensive networks. Each platform connected with mathematical precision, creating a web of technological complexity that defied current scientific understanding. "Something's happening," Jun whispered, watching energy signatures bloom across the holographic displays like digital flowers opening in impossible patterns. The platforms weren't just defensive systems, they were something more sophisticated, a cosmic trap meticulously designed thousands of years ago. Humanity's final invention was revealing itself, layer by intricate layer. Calculations showed these platforms had been waiting, dormant, patient, tracking something invisible to current scanning technologies. Each platform contained quantum entanglement protocols that could communicate across impossible distances, creating a network more complex than any known galactic communication system. Dr. Yun Kim's preliminary analysis suggested these weren't just weapons. They were a carefully constructed response mechanism designed to eliminate a specific type of threat, a threat so significant that humanity had spent its final moments preparing a defense that would continue long after their civilization's extinction. Strange energy readings began spreading across multiple star clusters. Platforms that had appeared inactive for millennia suddenly hummed with calculated precision. Mathematical sequences emerged, revealing complex tracking and elimination protocols. "This is impossible," Hyun Park muttered, reviewing the data. "These systems have been waiting 40,000 years, waiting and watching." The platforms didn't just represent technology. They represented humanity's ultimate act of defiance. A civilization facing certain destruction had transformed its final moments into a calculated revenge strategy that would continue protecting potential future civilizations. Each platform contained fragmentary records, glimpses of the final human scientists working frantically, knowing their civilization was ending but determined to create something that would survive. Quantum algorithms, predictive threat assessments, elimination protocols that could track and destroy specific cosmic signatures. Soo Kim discovered something extraordinary buried deep within the platform's core programming. The entire network was designed to learn, to adapt, to continue its mission even without direct human intervention. They didn't just build a weapon, she explained to her stunned colleagues. They built an evolving defensive system that could protect against threats we can't even comprehend. The cosmic trap was unveiling itself piece by piece. Energy signatures began eliminating trace elements across vast stretches of space. Something was hunting. Something was protecting. Massive quantum entanglement networks lit up like cosmic veins, pulsing with an intelligence that seemed almost alive. The platforms were communicating, sharing information, tracking something that existed beyond normal perception. June realized they were witnessing something unprecedented. Humanity's final invention was more than a technological marvel. It was a message, a promise, a declaration that even in extinction, they would protect. They would fight. The research team watched in stunned silence as mathematical precision destroyed potential galactic predators. Each eliminated signature represented another layer of the cosmic trap closing, another potential threat neutralized by a civilization that refused to be forgotten. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, humanity's final invention continued its patient, calculated mission, waiting, watching, protecting. The three letters that started everything continued to echo through the universe. Run, and something was definitely running. The first quantum pulse traveled faster than light, invisible to conventional scanning systems. It moved through the darkness of space like a silent predator, connecting dormant platforms that had waited 40,000 years for this moment. Dr. Yum Kim watched the holographic displays with growing intensity. What had begun as a research project was transforming into something far more profound. Quantum entanglement networks lit up across multiple star systems, creating a web of technological complexity that defied current scientific understanding. "It's activating," Jun whispered, his hand frozen above the control panel. The platforms weren't randomly placed. Each one represented a carefully calculated point in space, positioned with mathematical precision that suggested intelligent design. They began to pulse in synchronized rhythm, like a massive technological heartbeat awakening after millennia of dormancy. Hyun Park's computer systems started registering impossible data streams. Information from platforms scattered across light years began converging, creating a unified network that seemed to have a singular purpose: elimination. Strange energy signatures began spreading across distant star clusters. Platforms that had appeared as simple space debris suddenly transformed. Metal structures shifted, quantum cores hummed with calculated energy, and complex tracking systems came online. "This isn't just a defense system," Soo Kim muttered, analyzing the rapidly changing data. "This is a hunting mechanism." The activation protocol moved with surgical precision. Each platform communicated instantaneously, sharing information about potential threats detected across vast stretches of space. Complex algorithms predicted movement patterns, identified potential targets, and prepared elimination sequences. Massive energy waves began sweeping through different star systems. Whatever tracking system humanity had designed was now fully operational. It moved with a cold, calculated intelligence that suggested something more than simple programming. June realized they were witnessing humanity's ultimate revenge strategy. A civilization facing certain destruction had transformed its final moments into a cosmic protection protocol that would continue long after their physical extinction. The platforms didn't just detect threats. They anticipated them. Predictive algorithms calculated potential invasion routes, tracked subtle energy signatures, and prepared targeted elimination sequences. Each platform was both a weapon and a guardian, designed to protect potential future civilizations. Strange mathematical sequences emerged in the data streams. Complex quantum encryption keys unlocked additional layers of the system, revealing deeper levels of technological complexity. This was more than a weapon. It was a living, evolving defense mechanism. "They planned this," Yun said, her voice a mixture of awe and fear. Every single detail was calculated. Quantum cores began generating intense energy fields. Platforms that had appeared dormant for thousands of years suddenly transformed. Metal structures reconfigured, advanced weapon systems came online, and tracking mechanisms activated with precision. The activation protocol moved like a living organism. Each platform communicated, shared information, and prepared for potential threats. Invisible energy waves swept through space, eliminating trace signatures of potential invasive species. Hyun noticed something extraordinary in the data streams. The platforms weren't just following preset instructions, they were learning, adapting, evolving their defensive strategies in real time. Massive energy signatures began eliminating potential threats across multiple star clusters. Whatever civilization had originally targeted humanity was about to face a technological nightmare designed by the most determined species in galactic history. "They're hunting," Sue whispered, watching the holographic displays transform. The three letters that started everything continued to echo through the universe. Run. And something was definitely running. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, humanity's final invention continued its patient, calculated mission, waiting, watching, protecting. The cosmic trap was fully activated, and it was hungry. The research facility fell silent as the final data streams completed their analysis. Dr. Yun Kim's hands trembled slightly, her decades of scientific training unable to prepare her for what they had discovered. Humanity's legacy was not one of destruction, but of ultimate preservation. The quantum platforms had systematically eliminated every trace of the original threat that had destroyed Earth. Each eliminated signature represented more than just a defensive action. It was a statement, a declaration that even in extinction, humans would protect potential future civilizations. Joan Park reviewed the final transmission logs. Hidden within layers of quantum encryption were fragments of human history, glimpses of scientists working in final moments, researchers who knew their civilization was ending but refused to go quietly. "They didn't just survive," Hyun Park whispered. "They planned." The platforms continued their silent mission. Invisible energy waves swept through distant star systems, tracking and eliminating potential threats with mathematical precision. Each platform functioned like a living organism, learning and adapting across impossible distances. Soo Kim's computer systems revealed something extraordinary. The defense network wasn't just a technological marvel. It was a living memory. Every eliminated threat carried encoded information about humanity's final moments. a cosmic time capsule designed to survive long after its creators disappeared. The three letters that started everything continued to echo through the universe. Run. Fragments of human records painted a complex picture. Humanity hadn't been destroyed. They had transformed their own extinction into a galaxy-wide protection protocol. Each platform carried fragments of human knowledge, scientific understanding, and an unbreakable spirit of survival. They knew they couldn't save themselves, Ian explained to her stunned colleagues, so they saved everyone else. The platforms weren't random. They were carefully positioned quantum networks that could communicate across impossible distances. Each platform contained core programming that went beyond simple defensive protocols. They were designed to learn, to adapt, to protect. Massive energy signatures continued eliminating trace signatures of potential galactic predators. The defense network moved with a cold, calculated intelligence that suggested something more than simple programming. It was a living memorial to a civilization that refused to be forgotten. Jum discovered something hidden deep within the platform's core programming. Encoded messages, scientific knowledge, cultural fragments. Humanity had transformed its final moments into a comprehensive archive designed to survive long after their physical extinction. The research team watched in stunned silence as mathematical precision continued its patient mission. Each eliminated threat represented another layer of protection for potential future civilizations. A cosmic guardian created by a species facing certain destruction. They didn't die, Hin said, his voice filled with a mixture of awe and respect. They evolved. The platforms continued their silent watch. Invisible, patient, determined. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, humanity's final invention continued its calculated mission. Waiting, watching, protecting. Dr. Im Kim's final research report was simple and direct. Humanity did not die. They waited. They planned. They protected. The quantum platforms pulsed with energy, a technological heartbeat that continued humanity's mission across impossible distances. Each platform carried the hope, determination, and scientific brilliance of a civilization that refused to be forgotten. The three letters remained, a final message to any potential threat. Run. And something was definitely running. The legacy of human defiance continued its silent, patient mission through the endless darkness of space. Protecting. Always protecting.